So what's poppin'? Hey Salma, Assalamualaikum. Hey listen, I really enjoyed my time on the Kannon show. I hope you guys enjoy the dialogue and the visuals as well. And listen, you ever need some extra motivation, need somebody to talk to, I'll let your boy. I answer all my DMs on a daily basis. Shabazz the OG. You dig? Holla. I tell people all the time, right, about the whole motivational speaking and just any form of philanthropy period at this level. People tend to think it's a hustle. For some it is. But for me, like, I never got into it for the whole money component. Like, it just really me being who I am naturally, right? So when I was just driving, I'm thinking, it's just like you said, for the second season, you're like, I gotta go above and beyond, so I gotta get like a him.
Yeah.
So, and I was already thinking, like, this is stuff, you have to do, because I haven't reached my height in this whole business yet. Like, I know I'm still growing. Like, it looks bigger to other people, but like, to me, being behind the scenes, I really see like what's going on a daily basis. So when I was just driving, I was sitting at the light, and I'm like, like this the stuff you got to do. It's like promo. You gotta, you have to give before you start getting. So it's like you gotta go out, because people think, like, people tell me all the time, yo, OG, it's time for you to start monetizing. I say, listen, I can't even think about it. Don't, please, my brain already overloaded. Don't have me start thinking about how much money I'm supposed to be making, because there's no such thing. Like, there's no stipulated stipend yet. So, like, I still do things like this. Like, people can call. I monitor it. Like, everybody can't just.
Right.
But I just go off energy, approach, and presentation before I decide, what I'm gonna. Because this is my time. I ain't gonna get the time back. But then when I get here and y'all Muslim, it's like, mashallah, see, you did something right. See, ain't they Muslim, you gonna get those barakahs, inshallah. You know what I'm saying? So it just, getting here and seeing that y'all Muslim, it reiterates to me that the decisions that I make when I do things pro bono, that it continues to remind me why I'm blessed in other areas. That's why I be telling people, like, it's not about my name on a paycheck per se, or my name on an envelope with some cash in it per se. Doing what I do helps other people's lives. So in turn, so far, Allah been blessing me with lights. I eat every day. I got a car to drive. I ain't ran out of no clothes. I still have my essentials. And sometimes you gotta understand, like, that's really the paycheck. That's really the reward. The reward is sustenance. You know what I'm saying? The reward is existence. The reward is, you woke up the day for Fajr. Like, that's, so people really don't be understanding, like, it's not really money driven. You can make a living from it, and and if Allah wills, then that's what's gonna, come out of this for me. But it was just ironic that you said, like, you needed somebody like me for the second season.
I do.
Allah definitely pushed me right here to you, because I wasn't even supposed. What's today? I wasn't supposed to be here. I was supposed to be somewhere. What's today? The 13th?
Yes.
Where am I supposed? Oh, I would have just been getting back, so I would have been here. I was supposed to be in New York this weekend until I would have came back Saturday, so I would have been here.
Yeah, I might have tried to catch you in New York. I was trying to catch Big U in New York, but he left. Yesterday.
Oh, you tried to catch Big U? Yeah, I was just talking to I was just on the phone not too long ago with Wack 100. Yeah, good dude, despite what they say on the internet.
Before you are who you are today, this person, can we go back, let's say 20 years from now? Do you have...
Backwards?
Backwards.
Okay.
Beginning. Who were you?
The person you talking to right now. Just 20 years younger. I always been this guy. Obviously, I've gotten more mature my decision making has gotten a little better. You know, decision making got a little better, maturity settled in. Excuse me. So as a man, I've grown, you know, as a man. But as an individual, this been me. I've been this guy. I've been the shoulder to lean on, you know, for my friends. I've been the guy to give sound advice and, you know, reasonable input, unbiased. You know, like, don't ask me, don't be asking me if you don't want the truth. Right. Am I fat?
Yes, you are.
Are you sure you want to use that word? Because I'm agree with, you know, so it's just like, you know, I've always been known to be outspoken. Right. Wear it on my sleeve type. Right. I had to learn how to monitor certain things. I had to learn that certain things need to be put in their certain places. You know, you had to know when to say certain things. And maybe now wasn't the time. You said something right, but the timing might have been wrong. You know, so over the course of, if we go back 20 years between, you know, age 31 and 51, actually 20 years ago, at 31, I was sitting in East Jersey State Prison System. I actually celebrated my 31st and 32nd birthdays in prison. So that's when the lesson started, actually.
Prison or after prison?
The lessons, it didn't start in prison, it registered in prison. See, my mother said, I just finished my book, audio and text, so I'm just recently, I actually just got the contract today from the publishing house that I'm gonna be working with, but the book is entitled Flip Your Life, and it's basically an expansion of something that my mother told me when I was 7. 7 years old, my mother told me, you always gonna learn everything the hard way because you're hard-headed. So at 7 years old, my mother knew this about me, and she was right. So from 7 to 29, 22 years of living, when I finally went to prison, I was sitting in the hole in Rahway, and it hit me. I was thinking one day, and I'm like, damn, like, I started replaying things my mother done told me, my friends done told me. Like, I remember, I was running the streets, dudes from Queens and Brooklyn, down in Philly, and I never forget, I used to always carry guns. Like, that was it was like my wallet. For no reason though. Like, you know, when you're in the street, you trick yourself to believe you need a gun everywhere you go. Like, not really realizing you really don't need it. You bring that energy towards you when you got it on you. But my man Tommy one day, Tommy said, yo, why do you have a gun everywhere you go? I'm like, and I couldn't answer him. He said, let me ask you a question. He said, you know what I'm into? I said, of course. He said, you know how I get down? I said, right. He said, how often have you ever seen me with a gun? I said, I ain't never seen you with a gun. He said, you know why? He said, because I never had to use it on you. I said, what you mean? He said, because I only bring my gun out when I'm going to use it. This ain't no fashion statement. If I ain't using it, I'm not taking it nowhere. He said, Shabazz, I was ridiculous. I worked at a hotel, used to keep a gun in my lock box, where we keep the money at the job at the hotel. It was just distortion. No. It just go with it's stupid. It's not thinking. You understand what I'm saying? You're a different person when you have a gun on you. Your tolerance is different. You know what I'm saying? Your swag is different. You know you got it on you. You know, you're going...
You feel invincible?
Yeah, invincible, and something that you would have let slide if you didn't have a gun, you're not letting it slide because you got the gun. You understand? It was just so. As I'm sitting in the hole, my mother called me one day, and she asked me, like, what did you eat today? And I think it might be one of them bad food days. Like, I think they had something I ain't want, and I think I ended up just putting some string beans between 2 slices of bread and just ate a string bean sandwich. And my mom happened that happened to be one of the days I called home that day. I was talking to my mother, and I told her, she asked me what I ate, and I told her. Later, she told me after she got off the phone, she cried, like, because I told her what I ate. But when I was sitting there, that's when it started to sink in, like, everything you done did, dog, you did it the long way. Like, you did everything the hard way. Now you sitting in prison, like real prison.
But you realize that, though, like,
that's where I was at when I realized.
Your actions brought you.
Yeah. Like I didn't become Muslim in jail. You know, I got more discipline with my salats in jail. So when I came home in '99, and I, you know, between then and now, I don't care what I do. I could be the worst. I could sell all the drugs on the planet. I'm gonna pray. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm never. I can't. Like, I pray in the car if I have. My friends know, like, he gonna go wherever we at, I'm gonna go find somewhere to pray. And if I happen not, I'm gonna make the prayer. I'm gonna pray when I get home. So that was like prison. Those are 2 things that I got out of prison. 3, because I learned that I actually could live without sex. I figured that part out. Like, okay, you can really live without sex. Now, you can get that fiction out your mind. And, you know, the realization of what my mother always taught me. And, you know, and I got closer to the deen in terms of protecting and guarding those salats. So 20 years ago to 20 years now was just me expounding on the things that I realized that was important. And, you know, and I'm not a visualist. I'm not one of those projection kind of people. Like, you know what? 5 years from now, I see myself doing this, or I see myself. I never, even when I realized those things, I never said, okay, so now I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna turn it around and I'm gonna be like this. I didn't project it. I just recognized it, and I think my life just has been about me organically, just being better. So, just organically. It's nothing that I plan to do. I just try to live and be a good dude, and that's what we came to.
So for the people who would say he already had connections before he became who he is today,
right?
So he didn't really have to work as hard as I would have to work. I'm just saying the scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you tell people like that?
First and foremost, the connections that I have nothing to do with what I'm doing. The part that the connection played is because it's social media, right? People were able to actually see support.
Right.
They was able to see it, you know? Like, Meek was the first person to repost me, someone of status. He was the first person of status to repost one of my videos. And after Meek did that, and the page, the more popular the page became, the more people who already knew me, you know, chimed in and gravitated more towards, you know, reposting and things like that. But my connections in terms of the industry, like, I'm 51. I've been around the music industry since I was 17. Like, I started interning at radio my last year of high school. So I've been around this forever.
Right.
You understand me? I've been around this. So, and those relationships that I have now, all of these relationships were established. Even a lot of my celebrity friends and people in my network didn't really know who they didn't know the social media me until they, like, cause I'm not loud, you know, I'm reserved, I'm cool, like, I stay in my lane, like, I do what I do, but a lot of people didn't know. You know, I've had people tell me, you know, like females. I remember this young lady told me before we went on a date, and she said, you know, she knew me 10 years now. So this might have been about a year ago. She told me, she said, listen, She said, I owe you an apology. I said, for what? She said, I don't even know how to say this without offending you, but I'm just gonna say it. She said, I didn't know you was this intelligent.
No, that's very offensive. She said, that's very offensive.
She said, I didn't know that you were this intelligent. But she had no way of knowing because she never really gave me the opportunity that I was trying to have with her before. She was listening to what other people said about me,
Right.
which was inaccurate. But instead of knowing for herself, she listened. Then after she started seeing me on social media, it was just like, hold on. What I've heard about him and what I'm seeing on social media not adding up.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So she like, I didn't know you was this intelligent. She said, I didn't know you spoke like that. She said, I didn't know you paid attention to what going on in the world. Like, I said, well, what did you think about me? You thought I was dumb? She said, no, I just thought you was just a get money nigga that just like to party and mess with females. I said, oh, no, that's not what I'm about. Not solely and completely, nah.
That's just another side of you that people didn't get to see before. And
They
now you
didn't.
just-
People who know me,
Yeah.
like the people who know me, like in my personal life, they're not surprised.
Right.
No, they're not surprised at all. Like it's funny because I was talking to Allen Iverson one day, and one day he said to me, he said, it's so funny to see you online and see all these people be going crazy over what you be talking about. He said, I just be laughing to myself like, y'all don't know. He been telling me this shit for 20 years. you know, so like guys like that, guys like AI, like, Tracy McGrady, like Freeway, all of the state property, like these my little brothers. These guys that knew me years and years, and they're like, this new to y'all, it's not new to us. He been like this.
Right.
I've been the guy you can call and talk to and sit up all night and get real advice from, and hey, it might hurt your feelings, dog, but I'm gonna give it to you, and then we're gonna work through it.
So before I did a little research on you. I've asked around about you.
I like that. You're the second person. This is 2020 now. I remember I did an interview in 2017 in Baltimore, right? It felt crazy. This guy knew so much. He knew where I was born at. He knew my hometown. So this is the second time somebody said those actual words. I did some research on you.
I have to, right? Because the man you are in social media, that's part of you. That's not the whole of you, right? The whole of you.
Yeah, you got to do the criminal checks and all that. Make sure we...
So, this is OG, right? Like I was told that, I'm not gonna mention your name, that you own that name. Like you are respected. Like you're not gonna be, you earned that title.
Without a
OG.
doubt.
Yeah.
That's without a question.
Yeah. So like I'm speaking to you right now, and when someone said, well, that OG title he's earned, I'm not gonna, you understand what I'm saying? Like people would think you're scary or you're intimidating, or I'm not getting that vibe because I feel like you know how to balance the two.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah, see, the whole OG thing for me has nothing to do with original gangster and all of that. The OG title for me is for offering game. That's all this is about.
Okay.
Offering game. And that's what makes what I do easy. Because people learn, but I don't consider myself a teacher. I'm not, people receive, but I don't consider myself a preacher. I like having dialogue. I like asking questions. I like provoking thought. So OG for me, as it relates to offering game, like I got so much wisdom based off the experiences that I've had in life. Like I've been around the richest of the rich. I've been around the poorest of the poor. I've been around cold cowards. I've been around certified gangsters. I've been around all facets of life. I'm not no super tough, hard as nails gangster myself. However, but You know, I've had my moments of fear in life. I wasn't all, you know, I moved from Georgia to Philly. I was a country boy learning city life. I done got beat up. I done got jumped. I done ran. I done been scared to death. I done been punched in the face. I done been, and I done my fair share, you know. But when it comes to the OG title, like, first and foremost, I don't believe that's a name you can give yourself.
You earned it.
Yeah, I didn't give it. Like, one of my youngins started calling me that.
Right,
My young boy Raj in Philly. Raj started because he was one of those people. Relationships, friends, he going through stuff. I'm the one he called. So he started calling me OG. And I think that's how it's supposed to be. I think people have to recognize you as that.
Right.
Like, just like you can't label yourself thorough. You can't label yourself a real nigga. Like, you just can't. Like, you just got to be patient and let people see that in you.
Right.
And that's what be said about you.
With action, right.
Yeah, that's what has to be said about you. You can't say those things about yourself. So that part of your research was accurate.
Okay, I'm glad. Okay, so I just want to see if you have like a morning routine, current morning routine.
No, outside of Fudger, no. I make sure I get up to pray, you know. But I do like to walk. Like, where I live, it's a nice neighborhood, big park area. So any regimen that I have is that. But like my normal routine, you know, I get up, I pray, I go back to sleep, I wake back up. I used to have this habit of getting right on social media, right, when I woke up. And then I'm always thinking of the better things to do. So from a daily life perspective, I did have to change that. So what I started doing was, more often than not, even if it's only a few ayats, or if I just listen to someone like Mufti Meek on, so sometimes I try to make sure before I get on that internet, because you'll be there you look up and you've been on there for 2 hours. So at the very least, I at least try to either read Quran or listen to something Islamic prior to me getting wrapped up in, because on my social media, it really is like a job for me, because I answer all my DMs, I reply to everybody, and people always sending me content. Then I have people who want to like really talk to me about something that they actually gone through in life. So, you know, for me, like, I very rarely like surf my timeline. Sometimes I do, but my page, my involvement, I'm consumed with my Instagram Live every night, which I do, and answering those DMs. Like, I do that consistently every day. So in terms of a regimen, I try to make sure at the very least I do something, you know, outside of praying. It's something, you know, deen related prior to me getting wrapped up in social media every day. So that's, if I would say I had a regimen, that would be it. Yeah.
So, you know, most of the things out there in the internet, like, we're not really taught how to be kind to one another, right?
Right.
So, you know, you see, oh, do this to get money, do that, you know, inspiration, motivation, but I don't see a lot of people talking about the importance of being kind to one another, being genuine with one another. Like, if youth came to you, like, would you give them some advice of how to be kind, like how important it is to be kind to one another?
Yeah, I mean, I tell people all the time, when they talk about success and amassing wealth and getting to the bag and all this other stuff people talk about, I remind people consistently, your life is only worth as much as you do for other people. Period. If you got $1 billion and you don't do nothing for nobody else, as far as I'm concerned, you broke.
Right.
Period. So my narrative is not so much about being kind per se, because it's a obviously it's an area of what I do speak about a lot, but my main thing is always to treat people, how you want to be treated. Like last night, I was on my Instagram live and a guy wrote a message while I was on the live that, you know, he had contemplated suicide, and he came across something that I posted and it changed his mind. So he was on my live last night, and one of my consistent followers, he didn't mean any harm, but it came across inappropriately. He said, you know, this is a new year, let's not talk about negative stuff like that. Let's just be strong and move on. But I had to remind him, like, you can't do that. You know, you got to think first and foremost how hard it was or how courageous that person had to be to even put their business on a platform where they know nobody. And for your response to be basically, oh, just be strong, get over this, a new year. Like, first of all, that New Year shit don't mean nothing. Like, I tell people all the time, miss me with the resolutions. And there are New Year's resolution is nothing but a glorified procrastination. Every year after October 31st, everybody come up with what they're going to do for the new year. Stop it. So I had to reiterate to him and to the platform as a whole, like, we got to be mindful. Before you comment about what somebody else has done or is doing or what they're going through, remember, like, imagine that being you. Imagine you being in a dark space and wanted somebody to talk to, and they basically like, man, come on, get over that shit, get over it. You'll be all right, toughen up, stick your chest out, do some push-ups. I'm like, what you talking about? Like, dog, it's dark right now, you know? So I tell people the importance of, you know, like I say, actions is checkers, reactions is chess. So whatever move you make first, that's the minority move. How that move gets responded to or how you respond to a move, that's the majority move. So you have to be careful how you treat people, because the response is, that's where the mystery lies. You know, like talking about, we was having another discussion about a person who hits another person, but that person responds, instead of fighting, they respond with a gun. I'm not mad at that response, because maybe that person can't fight. Maybe that person's scared, whatever the case may be. And somebody said to me, well, OG, like, if somebody hits you, or if somebody hit a person and then they pull out a gun, they should just fight them. No, they shouldn't. That first person should have kept their hands to themselves, because they didn't know the unknown. You don't know what that person going through. So because you punched him in the face, don't think he's gonna punch you back in the face. If he shoots you in your mouth, you bought that. Like so I'm about being fair and impartial and unbiased. Like, if we decide as men we're gonna have a fair fight over whatever issue may be, if we're gonna have a fair fight and I lose a fair fight, I'm not gonna go get no gun. Be a man, I'm gonna take that. I lost. We fought fair, it was a fair fight, you won. But if I'm by myself and you got 6 dudes and my gun right there in the car, give me 1 minute, I'll be right back. Because I'm gonna even the score.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? So I tell people, like, you know, kindness is imminent, without a doubt. Kindness is imminent. But I believe in I believe in reciprocity. You know, like, people gonna reciprocate 9 out of 10 times what you've given them. So kindness is ideal, because if that's what you want back, it start with you. It start with you. It's just like people always say, well, OG, how we change the culture, how we fix this, how we fix that. Go stand in the mirror, for starters. That's where it starts.
Absolutely.
Start in the mirror.
But they don't know. Some people don't know what that even means. Like, how
I
to
tell
change
them.
yourself.
I just put a post up the other day and I told them, you go to the mirror when everything is right. When you done bust a good move, you got some money, you done went shopping, you go to the mirror to look at yourself. But then soon as something go wrong, you ain't in the mirror no more. You walking around with your head down, talking about who hated, talking about who was blocking, talking about who don't want to see you win.
Right, exactly.
No, take your ass back to that mirror and ask yourself, what did I do to contribute to this downfall?
Everything's your fault.
Yeah, everything start with you.
Yeah.
I could get into an argument right now, and the other person can be wrong, right?
Yes.
Other person can be dead in the wrong. but my response dictates my involvement in it. So if the shit go all the way bad, I might be right for my response. But if I'm talking about everything in its totality, right? I had to take responsibility that, yeah, I mean, I didn't have to walk away, but I could have chose to walk away.
Right.
You know, and again, this is all me being in the right.
Right.
This is the other individual being the instigator or the agitator.
Right.
But for me, I was within my bounds. But if I still want to ask myself, like if the situation went bad, I still have to ask myself, okay, even though that person was wrong, I still responded this way, and this is why this happened. So I have to take some accountability.
Right.
You know, people hate that word. I started to learn after a while. People don't want to take responsibility, boy, for some shit they do. It's the hardest thing in the world for a lot of people, I'm noticing.
I hear a lot of my feed. It's like, oh, they're hating on me. They're like, no one is.
First of all, maybe who is they? Let's start
who are
there.
These they, right?
They have caused so many problems
We need to find
in
out
this
who
community.
they are.
That's where the problem is at with this group of theys, because they always getting blamed for everything. They is a dangerous set of people. I'm telling you, like that they, whoever they, that's where we're gonna start buckling down on the problems when we find out who they are.
I'm gonna have to call you
When you find out who they are, let me know, because I got a few words for them, because they've been causing problems in the culture.
So I don't wanna keep it too long.
If we here now, I'm outside. You got me.
If people want to get in touch with you, they're just social media is the best way to get in contact.
Yeah. Because like I said, Instagram, my DMs, I answer them all every day.
Yeah.
I make the time, because the platform, it's a vice for a lot of people. It's a vice for a lot of people. It's an outlet. Excuse me. And I've made it where people are comfortable to reach out to me confidently. So that's the best line of communication for me. It's like having direct access almost, actually.
So to end, I just want to, if you have like motivation, something to give back, right, to people that are watching this show right now, they can take from you, like what a couple words that you would say of encouragement, and when they're down on their last luck, and how can they,
I mean, I tell people, I just give my experiences and try to make people confident about just taking pages out of my book. Like, to answer your question more definitively, life got easier for me when I started to adhere to the fact that the day and the moment is what we really have. This is what you have right now. And in this moment is when you seize the opportunity to make it to the next one.
Right.
So we all go through things. We all are down at times. Some things don't go our way at times, right? But I think if you learn to be grateful and thankful for the fact that you're still here, because if you're here for a reason.
Right.
Now the next part is to figure out what your reason is. Now, either you're going to take this moment and this time that you have to explore that, right? Or you're going to let whatever that outside noise is rob you of that. So I just try to encourage people not to get robbed. You know what I'm saying? Don't let circumstances rob you.
Right.
Don't get robbed, because as aspirational as you want to be, as ambitious as you want to be, like, don't get caught up in living in the future. But that's why when people ask me, what's your 5-year plan? I don't have one.
Yeah.
And if you know, like, I knew you wouldn't have one either. You know, I got a 5-minute plan.
Right.
You know, because there's a difference in being prepared. We should always be prepared. We should always make preparation. It's a part of being responsible. But some people that listen to a 5-year plan, like somebody could sit here and give you a 5-year plan and then make that 5-year plan sound so elaborate, and then the person that's listening that's really into that 5-year plan shit, they be like, oh, wow. And then they'll forget that right now in this moment, that person ain't doing shit.
Right.
They told you what they're gonna be doing in 5 years from now, and they done sold you. You not forget what they ain't doing nothing right now in their life in real time.
To get there, yeah.
They just got this elaborate plan laid out because that's what society make them think they supposed to have.
Right.
I've seen women talk about a man that he ain't got no 5-year plan. Shut up.
She heard it from somewhere, and then
Because people listen to what society tell them that they supposed to be doing to validate them.
Right.
I don't live like that.
Okay, so I'm gonna be just a little selfish right now, and since you're in front of me, I feel like if I ask you the same question next year, I'm gonna be charged $20,000 an hour for it. So,
No, certain people that caught me this time around, like they good.
okay.
Like I keep the squirrels with the nuts store the nut. I keep certain people in the memory bank. They're gonna be all right going forward.
Mashallah. Okay, so I'm a Muslim woman.
Right.
I wear the hijab. I look like a Muslim when I'm walking down the street.
Right.
I'm in the tech industry, and I'm getting into a podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
To get to the next level, I feel like I'm already in the next level because I have you in front of me.
Mashallah, that's what's up.
So, could you give me some advice to where I can, you know, I'm a go-getter. I just make it happen. I don't care. If somebody just says no to me, there's 3 other yeses for me. I don't really care 1 no.
Right.
But just give me some advice because you have so much wisdom from, you know, the industry you're in. How can I excel being me?
You just the last words you just said is how you do it. What's the last 2 words you said? Answered your own question, baby. Because it's like this. There is no blueprint to the success of this.
Right.
It's only about you being you.
I can't be any other way.
Because as Muslims, we already know it's the creed, it's the qadr. So if it's meant, it's already waiting for you. It's just a route that you're going to take to get there. So remain with your morals. Remain with your integrity. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Remain honorable and just be who you are. That's what's like. I didn't get here any other way.
Right.
Like people see my relationship with Floyd, for instance. I met Floyd because of my Instagram.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know Floyd. I knew his assistant. And he had been watching my videos. And one day I posted a video that really resonated with him. And he showed his assistant. He was like, yo, I like this guy. And Kichi said, oh, Shabazz? And Floyd asked, you know him? She's like, yeah, I know Shabazz a long time. And he told her, you know, no, I want to meet dude. Like, I like him. And he had her invite me to his 40th birthday party in LA. I went, we met. That was February 2017. Going on our 3rd year now. That's my man. Like, really, really good friends. But it just went back to something else that my mother told me. You never know who's watching. That's why it's always best to just be yourself, but be good at being you. Just be a good person. You know, you don't know what's gonna come of it. You can't. A lot of people go wrong, Salma, because they look for compensation or a reward for being a good person.
That's not really being genuine.
And that's where they go wrong.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, I've been a good person, I've been good, why don't I have this?
Right.
You breathing,
Right.
you got somewhere to live, you got food, you being rewarded every day.
Right.
Don't let society dictate what a reward for your goodness is supposed to look like.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, I don't think about compensation predominantly for what I do. Yes, there's things, It'd be hard for me to talk money sometimes. That's why I let my business manager do it. She a pit bull. She don't care. But for me, I'm very meticulous about what I take money for. Everybody don't have it. I would never not do something that could benefit you or help you because you don't have money. You know, somebody was on my team before that I fired, that I cut ties with, simply because they made someone think that I didn't come do something for some kids because they didn't have enough money to pay me. Because that wasn't the truth. I would never, ever, in a million years, I spend my own money to go talk to some kids. Somebody say, I need you to talk to these kids, Shabazz. They know who you are, they look up to you, but I don't have budget to pay you. But will you come? I'm going. I'm going. Because I can't get caught up in this Instagram celebrity stuff. I'm not a celebrity. Like, this is a application on the phone that I was able to utilize for other people to see who I am. I'm not no musician where I gotta rehearse every day, 10 hours in the studio, dancing and sweating and crying for this all my life and been through this and been through ups. It's not the same as people who built careers. It's not the same. Like, yeah, when you're dedicated to something, it takes your time, it takes work. But I just think people that are on social media, we just have to realize we're popular. We're not celebrities. Not to me. I don't buy into that. Like, we're just popular. But it's cool with me because I was popular before, so it hits me differently. See, people who weren't noticed until social media, it hit a little different for them.
Brand new.
Yeah, so they forget.
Yeah.
They forget and they act a certain way. I see it all the time. It's funny to me, you know. But in terms of you excelling, just look at every step as progression. You sit with me today, you might be sitting with Gary Vee. You might be sitting with Grant Cardone. You might be sitting with Les Brown. Like, because so much that we do, we will it based on our energy and our efforts and what Allah has decreed for us. So just be yourself, sis. Like, it's because I promise you, you could be the best person on the planet. If it's not meant for you to have, it's not coming. Like, there's been points in my life I thought, oh yeah, mashallah, this is it. We made it, baby. That was 15 years ago. I thought it was on and popping. You know, I was riding private jets in 2002, 2003. You know? Working with an NBA player and, you know, we driving Bentleys and elevators in the houses and all of it. Like, I was living that life 15 years ago. And at that time, I'm thinking, Lord, bless me. I'm here. This is it. I wasn't. But now, 15 years later, I'm prepared for that type of life, if that's what I'm blessed with. I'm prepared to ride private jets, and it's not going to change me. I'm prepared to, you know, I know what it is to drive Rolls Royces, and like, I've done all of these things. So now, at this point in life, it's not those things are good. It's good to be comfortable. It's good to have nice things. That's cool. You know, a lot of people don't understand, even as Muslims or any people in clergy, like they have this thing like, you know, preachers and imams and Muslims and nobody, you're not supposed to look good. You're supposed to be fly. Why not? You know, that's not it. You're not supposed to let it consume you. You know, like I say in the Quran, you're not supposed to, you know, be so vain that you walk yourself into the earth. You know, but it's okay to have nice things. But we just have to know how to contain ourselves. So it's always good to strive. Want to be better, want to have more, but just a matter of not losing yourself, because I don't care what you do and who you are. If it's not decreed for you, you're not going to get it anyway. So you might as well just do yourself the service of being yourself. You just be you.
how else other way to be but myself.
That's one of those things you don't even got to think about.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So when it comes to like I tell people, I'm not on a level. Like people always say, how can I get on your level? I'm not on a level.
You're just you.
I'm just being me.
Yeah.
You're just getting to witness me be me. You know, then a lot of people have to really, really, and this is ideal. This is really, really important. You have to make sure that what you're pursuing is really your purpose.
Right.
See, this is my purpose. That's why I don't worry about money.
Right.
The money gonna come.
Absolutely.
Stability is gonna come. This is really what Allah wants me to be doing with my life. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You know, I don't know who has accepted Islam because of what they see me do. I don't know who didn't kill themselves because of me. I don't know. Well, actually, I do, because I get these messages all the time. I'm gonna show you something. I'm gonna share something with y'all. Inshallah. I want you to see something. Just so you can kind of get a understanding about what I'm talking about. I'm gonna read y'all something that somebody sent me in a DM. He said, "What's good, Baz? Off top, thanks again for allowing me to open up to you this past summer. I was humbled last night watching you at Justin's party." He's talking about Puff's son, about a couple of days before New Year's this year. "Crazy to think you rub shoulders with someone like Diddy, but still make time for me. You remember how we came to meet? I had issues with my wife that had me with a gun in one hand, ready to do something really dumb. Since that time around August, she has come back, remorseful of what she allowed to happen. It was an emotional affair. She's been to counseling and therapy, and she's been a completely different woman. Things have been great, so much so we're expecting another child. You're right, OG, he is merciful, and you served as his messenger. Had I acted on my anger, not only would I have been taken away from my boys, I definitely wouldn't be blessed with a child on the way."
Wow, that's incredible. Wow, that's you.
What I look like worrying about money and when I'm gonna get paid about something. That's somebody's life we talking about.
Right.
His wife, and I know this guy, what he's talking about, he was one of 3 men who hit me within it was the craziest thing. 3 different men within a 7-day period hit me because their girlfriend or their wife was cheating. And all 3 of them was on the brink of explosion. He was the worst. He was in tears. He was really getting ready to do the damn thing. I could hear it in his, I could hear it in him. I could hear his voice trembling. He was crying. And he told me I was on the phone with him, because a lot of these people I actually get on the phone with. And he told me, he said, "I don't see nothing except her in the ground." He said, and he said, "And can't nobody talk to me right now except you."
Wow. It's heavy.
I had that 3 different conversations with 3 different men in a 7-day period. I didn't know what was going on at the time. I'm like, what's happening? But it's real. I get those kind of messages all the time.
Wow.
So, to me, what I'm doing is purposeful. So what I was saying is, sometimes people are pursuing what they want while they're negating what they should be doing. So sometimes if you're trying to do something and it's not working, despite how bad you want it, you have to reevaluate. Okay, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because one thing about it, our bodies, right? Our intuition is real. The 6th sense is real. I tell people all the time. The 5 senses, we don't disobey them. See, smell, hear, taste, and touch. Whatever those senses tell us to do, we adhere to it.
Right.
But that 6th sense,
Intuition.
or we play with it, we manipulate it. It could tell us something. You're like, I heard you, but let me just go. And then you end up, damn it, I knew I should.
Should have done that, yeah.
Because we don't listen to it. We play with it. We compromise it. We sacrifice it. We manipulate it. But that's the most important sense of all. Because that's the one that tells us the right thing and the wrong thing to do. Whether we want to hear it or not, that intuition going to speak to you.
Right.
When nobody else knows. You know. We all know when we doing something wrong. Even if we do it anyway.
Right.
Our body told us, that ain't cool. Don't do that. But we don't do what's right. We do what feel good.
Right.
You know? So people have to be able to identify when they're in the wrong direction. They have to identify when they're in the wrong direction. And when what you're supposed to do falls upon you, even if it's unconventional and unexpected, embrace it.
Right.
Embrace it and take the reward that's going to come with it. But recognize the reward. Don't let somebody else tell you what the reward should be. And that's where a lot of people go wrong. I don't listen to people when they tell me, oh, gee, you should be bigger than that. You should be bigger than what you are. You should this. And, man, Puff should have reposted that. And Meek should have did that. And why Fab ain't do... These are my friends. These are my associates. This is my network. A lot of these guys have done enough already. They don't owe me nothing. Not to mention, there's no... This person should, and they just order, and if that's your man, then why he ain't? I don't know why he ain't do it. I don't know why he ain't post me and I posted him. I don't care.
Right.
You know,
felt that you did it. If didn't you feel it?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the bottom line. Like it's just like sitting here with you. Somebody else would have paid for this. You didn't. Somebody else might not have paid for it. Somebody else might have. I just go with what I feel.
And let's hope in the next few months I am able to.
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I'll take your money. Lord, tell me to be no fool. Because I'm gonna be here. It's like we was laughing one time. It was Ramadan, and me and Freeway was talking, and I was talking about. I think I was going to LA. I was going on the West Coast, but I was still talking about. I was still going fast while I was traveling, despite not having to. And I'm like, nah, I'ma still fast. Free was like, nah, don't fast. I said, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and thug it out. He said, Shabazz, if you fast while you traveling, that's like turning away a favor from Allah.
Right.
I said, mashallah, I ain't fasting.
Let's go get
You know, let's go get something to eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know, when the money comes, wherever it comes from, it's a blessing.
Right.
You know, when it don't come, mashallah. When's it supposed to come?
Thank you so much for your time, and everything you've said was incredible. Thank you
I
so
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.